So let us come to the topic. Now let us come to the topic. So let me start with the what is power electronics. So here power electronics is most important subject. So without power electronic system, we cannot think of any modern electrical system. So the power electronics is interface. So here the power electronics is a branch of engineering which can control the power as well as condition the power. Similarly, so we can define like this. We can also define like this. So the power electronics is concerned with energy processing. The power electronics is concerned with energy processing. So what is the meaning of energy processing here? So which converts the form supplied by the source to the form required by the load. So what it means? So which converts form supplied by the source to the form required by the load. Energy form required by the load. What does it mean? So what is energy supplied by the source, energy required by the load? Let us take one example. So we all know that we have battery operated electric vehicles. So what is the input in the battery operated electric vehicles? The input is battery, right? And so here it should drive the electric drive, right? So let it be the AC drive. So can we connect this DC output to the DC output of the battery to the input of the AC drive? So no, there should be some interface. So which can convert this battery DC voltage into the AC. So that is conversion. So that is we are converting the DC energy into the AC energy with simple example. Now we will take the simple example. So now let us see the schematic diagram of the power electronic circuit. So what is schematic diagram of the power electronic circuit? Let us see the schematic diagram of the power electronic circuit so that you can understand clearly. So it is the schematic diagram of the power electronic circuit. So which contains source, input filter, so power circuit, output filter and load. So if you observe this circuit, so what you are remembering? So observe that. So if you observe this circuit, so you have to remember that. So the control system will come, the control system circuit, it is like the control system circuit. So what is that? So if you observe this one, so this is the feed forward circuit, this is the feed forward path, and this is the feedback path. So it is like control system block diagram. So it is a feed forward, that is forward circuit. So which is the forward circuit, right? This is the forward circuit and this is the feedback circuit. It contains two circuits. So one is forward circuit and other one is the feedback circuit. So what is forward circuit? So the power electronic system is divided into two components. One is power circuit, other one is the control circuit. Clear, very clear. One is power circuit and other one is the control circuit. So now this forward circuit is called as power circuit. The forward circuit is called as power circuit and this feedback circuit is called as control circuit. So this forward circuit, we can call it as a power circuit. And this feedback circuit, we can call it as a control circuit. Now let us see one by one, each block function we will see here. So here, let me start with the source. So what are all the sources we have? So energy sources. So it may be the AC source or a DC source. A source may be the AC source or a DC source. So what are all the loads here? So here, the power, as I said before, the power electronics has a large application area. So what are all the loads we have? So the different types of loads are battery charging loads, battery charging applications, right? So now, so we can drive the AC drive, or we can drive the DC drive. So we can use it for the DC drive. So and we can connect to the grid. So it depends on application. The load may be, so it depends on application, the load energy may be different. So here, so what is power circuit here? A power circuit is a combination of switches and energy storage elements. So now at this stage, so we can conclude that the power circuit is a combination of switches and energy storage elements. What are all the energy storage elements? The energy storage elements are inductance and capacitance. Inductance and capacitance. So the power circuit is a combination of switches and energy storage elements. So what is the switch? So we cannot use SPST switch, right? So we have to use power semiconductor devices. So these switches are power semiconductor devices. Power semiconductor devices. These switches are power semiconductor devices. What are all the power semiconductor devices we have? So power diode, so SCR, IGBT, power MOSFET, so GTO, like that we have different power semiconductor devices. So we will study it in the module 1. So now, so these are all the power semiconductor devices. So now, so we have the two filters, input filter and output filter. What is the function of input filter and output filter here? So here, when we use the switch, what happens? It chops a input supply. So during that time, it injects harmonics into the source. So if the harmonics are there in the source, if it inject harmonics into the source, so it will cause additional losses. So that to eliminate the harmonics, we need to use the input filter. So to eliminate the input harmonics, we need to have the input filter. To eliminate the output harmonics, we need to have the output filter. Now we are clear with the power circuit, right? So the power circuit is the forward circuit. So which contains these elements. We have seen all those functions. Now let us go for the control circuit. What control circuit can do? So here, let us assume, so the load here, so which has the electrical feedback and mechanical feedback. So what are all the electrical feedback parameters? So guys, what are all the electrical feed parameters? So electrical feed parameters, what are the parameters we will take? So voltage and current are the electrical feedback parameters. So we take the feedback from the load, so which is voltage and current, so which are the electrical feedback parameters. What are all the output mechanical feedback parameters? The speed and torque are the mechanical feedback parameters. Speed and torque are the mechanical feedback parameters. So electrical parameters are voltage and current. So mechanical parameters are the speed and torque. Now we are taking the feedbacks from the load. So what we have to do? So it should compare with the preset value or reference value. It should compare with the reference value. So it should compare with the reference value, and then it generates an error. So from that error, the control circuit will modify will generate the output in the form of pulses. Up to here now we are clear. Why it is pulses? Why the control circuit output is pulses in the format of pulses? So observe here. For example, let me take this switch as IGBT. So to understand, let me take the switch as IGBT. So as we know that this IGBT has 3 terminals. What are all those terminals? Collector, emitter and gate. These are all the 3 terminals. So when the IGBT will be in the on condition. So one thing we need to understand, so here, so whether any power electronic device in the power electronic system will operate as a switch. Either cutoff region or it will operate in the saturation region, because switch has only 2 states, either it can be off or either it can be on. So here, to operate the IGBT as a switch, so we need to give the gate pulse to the gate signal to the IGBT. Whenever it required to be on, so I need to give the gate pulse. So whenever it required to be off, I need to cut off the gate pulse. Simple. So now at this stage, understand this one. So we need to give the gate pulse to the power semiconductor devices. Now we can understand, right? So now this control circuit is output is so in the form of pulses. So what the control circuit is doing, it is comparing the electrical feedback and mechanical feedback, and it is comparing with the reference value. So it is generating the pulses, so which is given to the switches. Right, now we are clear. So what about this one? So what is the function of switch drivers here? So guys, what is the function of switch drivers here? So can anyone tell? What is the function of switch drivers? So what is the function of switch drivers? Can anyone tell what is the function of switch drivers? Guys, respond. What is the function of switch drivers? What is the function of switch drivers? So here the driver circuit is included in the control circuit. So what is the function of driver circuit? Can anyone tell? So can anyone tell that? So what is the function of switch driver circuit? So the function of switch driver circuit here is, so observe here, the function of switch driver circuit here. So the control circuit is built up with, DSP. So that is programmable devices. The control circuit with the programmable devices. So which is developed by the programmable devices. So programmable devices. So what are all the programmable devices we will use generally? So digital signal processor, DSP, microcontroller. So we'll use the microcontroller. So FPGA controller, field programmable gate array, So now, so it is to drive the switches, right? To drive the switches. So the control circuit also generating the pulse. So Vikash Kumar, so it drives the switches. You're right, it drives the switches. So what happens? So is this pulse is sufficient to drive the switch now? So in addition to that, so why we have kept the switch drivers? The control circuit pulse is to drive the switches or not? So yes, the switch is to be on and off, right? You're right, the switch is to be on and off, but so the control circuit is also generating pulses. Guys, the control circuit is also generates the pulse, but in addition to that, we have the switch driver circuit. This pulse is sufficient to trigger the IGBT or not? So my question here is very clear. So the control circuit is generating the pulse. This pulse is sufficient to trigger the IGBT or not? Respond guys, respond. This pulse is sufficient to trigger the IGBT or not? Let me explain guys. So here, if you see the IGBT specifications, so what happens? So the gate pulse amplitude should be in between the 10 to 12 volts. It should be 10 to 12 volts. For example, if I use the microcontroller as a control circuit, so understand guys, microcontroller as a control circuit, what happens? It generates the amplitude of plus 5 volts. So it requires plus 10 volts. It requires 10 volts to trigger the IGBT. If I give the plus 5 volts from the control circuit, is the switch will be on or off? Is the switch will be on or off? So the control circuit is generating plus 5 volts guys. So it needs the 10 to 12 volts to trigger the IGBT, but the control circuit is generating plus 5 volts. So is the control circuit pulse is sufficient to trigger the IGBT or not? Yes or no? So control circuit itself not able to trigger the IGBT in a practical application, any practical application. So the only control circuit or the only programmable device pulses will not sufficient to trigger the IGBT. Remember guys. So here there should be a switching driver circuit. So in all practical circuit, in addition to the control circuit, in addition to the processor, so they will keep the driver circuit. That driver circuit increases the pulse amplitude, increases the pulse strength to trigger the IGBT. It increases the pulse strength. So that to increase the pulse strength or pulse amplitude to 10 to 12 volts, so that it can able to trigger the IGBT. Now we are clear, right? So is there any doubt? Now we are clear. Is there any doubt? Yeah, right. So Mitra, right. Switch drives upscale the voltage. It upscale the voltage. So you are clear or not? So we have cleared with the power semiconductor, total power electronic schematic diagram. So we have the forward circuit and control circuit. If you have any doubt in the forward circuit and control circuit, please respond. So please respond guys. Please respond. So if you have any doubt, you can raise. Right. Thank you. So now, so let us explore the power circuit. let us explore the power circuit. So here in introduction, no one will tell you that, so simplest form of, by using the simplest form of circuits, so we cannot explore, no one will tell you that how we can explore the power converters. Now let us discuss by using the simple switching circuit, we can explore the power circuits. So what are all the functions of power circuit here? What are all the functions of power circuit here? We will discuss later. What are all the types of power converters? Functions of power converters, we will discuss later. Now let us discuss. Let us discuss types of power converters. Types of power converters. So what are all the types of power converters? So let me explain clearly. If you concentrate for these 10 minutes, you can understand. So without knowing the basic concepts also, you can understand. So what are all the different types of power converters? So from that, so if I set the syllabus, so you can understand. So what about the, if I give the clear idea about syllabus, you can understand. So now be here for the 15 minutes of this duration, so that you can understand clearly about power circuit. Be here for the 15 minutes, guys. Now let us start. So here we have an AC source. Let me take an AC source here. So let me take a DC source here. Again I will take the DC source here. Again I will take the AC source here. So this is an AC source and this is a DC source. So there are 4 possible conditions of the power converters. What are all those we see? So for example, if the conversion is from AC to DC. So what is that? So it is rectification process. The rectification process is done by the rectifier, so which is AC to DC converter. So this is the simplest form of AC to DC converter. By using the simple switches. You can understand. So now, the next conversion is, what is the next conversion here is DC to DC conversion. So it is DC to DC conversion. So here we can convert from the DC to DC. So now, we can convert from the DC to AC. Other possible case is DC to AC. So what is DC to AC conversion? The DC to AC conversion is nothing but inverter. We can call it as an inverter. So other possible conversion is, so one more thing is left. What is that? So which is AC to AC conversion. So it is simple, right? So here we have 4 possible conversion, which is AC to DC, right? Which is AC to DC, DC to DC, DC to AC, and AC to AC. These are all the 4 possible conversion. Now let me explain clearly. So here itself you understand. Guys, do it right at first time and do it right at every time. So when you're listening for the first time, you need to understand clearly. So understand this one. So here, let me take the rectification process. Let me explain how the rectification process will be. So here, let me explain how the rectification process will be. So this is the rectifier circuit. So I'm saying that this is a DC to DC conversion circuit. Let me keep this as plus minus 10. So plus minus V0. So let me take an axis here. So to draw the output voltage, let me take an axis. So let me take an axis here. So let me take an axis. Now, so plus minus V0. V0 will be output voltage, will be across resistance. Here we have source, resistance, and the 4 switches are there, right? 4 switches are there. If you observe this circuit, 4 switches are there. So 2 switches are indicated in red color and 2 switches are indicated in the yellow color, right? So now these red color switches are called as the positive group of switches. Let us assume these red color switches are the positive group of switches and these yellow color switches are the negative group of switches. Is this circuit is sufficient to convert the AC to DC or not? We will see. So here, let me draw the input voltage first. So what is the input voltage? Let me assume these 2 terminals as the A and B. Now let me draw the VAB input voltage in the dotted line. So let it be the VAB. let it be the VAB. Clear, right? So now, if I want to draw the VBA, how I can draw? So if I want to draw the VBA, how I can draw? So I can draw like this. So it will be the VBA. So VBA is exactly 180 degrees out of phase with the VAB, right? So VAB is nothing but minus of VBA. So that I can draw the input voltage. Now let us draw the output voltage. For example, in between the 0 to pi, in between the 0 to pi, if I close the P switch, in between the 0 to pi, if I close the P switch, what happens? So observe guys, what is the output voltage? If I close the P switch, be interactive guys, if I close the P switch, what happens? If I close the P switches, these two switches, what happens? So this VAB equal to V0. So observe that, let me close the switches, you can understand clearly, let me close the switches. So I will close these two P switches. What happens? So if I close the P switches, the A is connected to the plus of the V0 and B is connected to the minus of V0. So V0 equal to VAB. So if I close the switches, V0, P switch, it will be the V0 will be the VAB. If you observe in this output voltage waveform, so VAB I have represented with the red color, right? So it will be the VAB. V0 equal to VAB. Let me represent with other color, output voltage. So V0 equal to VAB. Let us understand all the familiar terms here itself so that it will be easy for you. So V0 equal to VAB. Now let me close the N switch. Now let me close the N switch. So if I close the N switches, so what about the output voltage? Be interactive guys, so that it will motivate me to give you more content. So here, if you observe that, if I close these two N switches, what happens? This A terminal is connected to the, where it is connected? Negative of the V0, right? Similarly, this B terminal is connected to the positive of the V0. So that V0 equal to VBA. So V0 equal to VBA. So if I draw the output voltage, V0 equal to VBA. So again V0, if I close the, here I am closing the N switch, here I am closing the P switch. So again here I am closing the P switch. So if you observe the output voltage, so it is pulsating DC, right? So this is a simple switching circuit, so which can generate or which can convert so from AC input voltage to the DC output voltage. Now it is clear. So let me go one more forward step. So what is that? So these switches are, let me assume these switches are controllable switches. You need to understand this term guys. So let me assume that these switches are the controllable switches. What is the meaning of controllable switches? In a simplest manner, the turn on and turn off instants are controllable in case of controllable switch. What does it mean? So in a controllable switch, the turn on instant and turn off instant I can controllable. So what does it mean? We will see. So here, so for example, if I close the switch at, so if you observe here, I switch on the P switch at 0, I have opened the switch at pi. In this case, for example, if it is controllable, what happens? Let me represent with the other color so that it will be easy. So it is very easy guys, please understand. So it is very easy, just concentrate here. Give me 15 minutes, you will get the total power electronics idea. So here, so if I close this switch at 30 degrees, so I am closing the P switch at 30 degrees. Up to 30 degrees, no switch has been closed. So if no switch has been closed in this circuit, so what about the output voltage? The output voltage is 0 because there is no current flowing through the load, right? So the output voltage is 0. Up to here, output voltage is 0. At 30 degrees, I am closing the P switches. These two P switches I am closing. What happens? So if I close these two P switches, it should be equal to VAB. So it should be equal to VAB. So for example, if I close the N switch at 180 plus 30 degrees, so what happens? So the voltage will be like this. So here it will be like this. What you can observe here? So from this total analysis, so you have to observe some points. What are those points? What are those points? So the switches are sufficient, the switches and energy storage elements are sufficient for the energy conversion. So that is one form of the energy to the other form of energy, right? It is clear. And the next one is, if I use the controllable switches, underline this point, if I use the controllable switches, I can get the variable output voltage at load. So before that, the output voltage will be like this. So if I increase this one, turn on instant, what happens? If I make it 30 degrees to 60 degrees, what happens? Output voltage increases or decreases. If I make it for the 60 degrees, so the output voltage is further reduces. So that output voltage can be controllable. So if I use the controllable switches. So we may have studied the rectifier in analog electronics also, but there we are using the diodes. But if you consider the thyristor or SCR, IGBT or MOSFET, they are controllable devices. In these devices, we can control the turn on and turn off instants. If I am using the controllable devices, I can get the variable output voltage. So in analog electronics, in rectifier, we are defining that. So it can convert the AC into the DC. So but here we can define that it can convert from fixed input AC into the variable output DC. So the output is variable. You can observe in the graph, the output is variable. If I make the turn on and if I change the turn on and turn off instance. Now we are clear. These switches are controllable switches. We will discuss in the module 1 clearly what are all the controllable switches. But at this stage, understand that if I am using the controllable switch, so I can control the output voltage. That is about rectifier. So if you can understand this one, so you can understand any rectifier circuit, you can analyze any rectifier circuit. So now let us see the DC to DC conversion. So the second one is DC to DC conversion. So rectifiers is clear, right? So guys, rectifiers is clear. Yes, Mitra, right? So is controllable means fully controllable or partially controllable? The question is, so here, if I am telling that it is a controllable means it is fully controller and partial controller, he is asking. So here, so these switches are controllable switches. If I take an SCR, so for example, at this stage, I don't want to discuss deep into the devices, but so for that question I am discussing. So if I am taking the SCR, in that only turn on instant I can control. So turn off instant I cannot control. So that is semi-controlled device, that called as semi-controlled device. But here, so at this stage, assume that these are all the controllable switches. Let us make, whether it is semi-controlled, partially controlled or fully controlled, let us make in this session, so these switches are the controllable switches. So now I think you are clear, right? So now we are clear, right? So now let us take the DC to DC conversion. So what is DC to DC conversion? So let me explain the DC to DC conversion here. So for DC to DC conversion also, let me take the output voltage axis. So output voltage axis. So here, so let me take the output voltage axis in the DC to DC conversion. If it can control the DC to DC, so the input is DC, output is also DC. Is that required? Actually, is that required? No, because so the input here in this case, the input is fixed input DC. Output is variable output DC. The input is fixed input DC and output is variable output DC. So the output is DC is variable in all the converter, the output voltages are variable. So that you need to remember. So observe, this is the simplest circuit of the DC to DC conversion. So if you can understand this one, you can analyze the DC to DC converter also. So without knowing the knowledge also, you can find that by observing the circuit, so you can tell that whether it is a DC to DC converter or not. So now here two switches are there. So here two switches are there, P switch and N switch. Two switches are there, P switch and N switch. So P are the positive group of switch, N is the negative group of switch. So now let me draw the output voltage. So here let me assume the total period is T. So I will change the color, right? So the red color is the problem for you. So I will change the color. So let me assume the total time is t. Let me assume the total time is t. So let me take half of the time as t by 2. T by 2. So let me assume that from 0 to t by 2, if I close the p switch, what happens? So from 0 to t by 2, if I close the p switch, what happens? The input voltage is equal to the output voltage. The input voltage is equal to the output voltage. So here, if I close the p switch, observe that. So concentrate here. If I close this p switch, what happens? The input voltage is equal to output voltage. It is clear. So here, so from 0 to t by 2, it is Vs. It is Vs. So what happens t by 2 to t? So I am closing the p switch here. After t by 2, if I close the n switch and open the p switch, so if I close the n switch and open the p switch, what happens? If I close the n switch and open the p switch, what happens? So what about the output voltage? The output voltage is 0 because it's getting shorted, right? So output voltage is 0. So the output voltage is 0. If I can control, so underline this point, if I can control the p switch at different intervals, the turn on and turn off times are controllable. So what happens? I can control this duration, right? I can control this duration. So I can control this duration. So I can control this duration. So if I can control this one, so I can control this duration. So this duration I can control. I can make here. So I can make here. So by controlling the p switch, I can make the p switch. So up to here also. So that means, so by using the p switch, by using the controllable p switch here, I can control the output voltage of the DC to DC converter. So I have seen one question in the comment box. So sir, you said that the converters are nothing but which is a combination of switches and energy storage elements. Switches and energy storage elements. But nowhere I have used on the energy storage element here. But what is the function of energy storage elements in this? For example, if you observe here, so if I draw the input current, it is similar to this waveform. So that here it injects harmonics into the system. To eliminate the harmonics, we need to keep the L and C. So if I keep the L and C, so this circuit will be like this. So it is buck converter. That we will discuss later. So here, energy storage elements are also included in the circuit. Energy storage elements also included in the circuit to eliminate the input and output harmonics. So here, inductance included to eliminate the input current harmonics. So capacitor included to eliminate the output voltage harmonics. Now you are clear, right? So now we are clear with the DC to DC converter. Let us go for the DC to AC conversion. Let us understand DC to AC conversion. So what is DC to AC conversion? So now we are going to clear with all the converters. Now what is the DC to AC conversion? So here, let me draw the output voltage of this one. So if I draw the output voltage, so here, let me draw the output voltage axis first. So now we have the output voltage axis, V0. Let me take it as a V0. So for example, here also P are the positive group of switches. Let me assume that P as the positive group of switches, N are the negative group of switches. So from 0 to t by 2, and t by 2 to t, I will define into two periods. For example, from 0 to t by 2, if I close the P switch, so what is the output voltage? So let me assume output voltage is this one. If I close the P switch, so what is the output voltage? V0 equal to Vs, because positive terminal of Vs is connected to the plus of the V0 and the negative terminal of the Vs is connected to the minus of the V0. Right? So we are clear now. So now V0 equal to Vs. So it will be the V0 equal to Vs. After t by 2, if I close the N switch, and if I open the P switches, so what is the output voltage? So if I open the P switch, if I close the N switches, so what is the output voltage? So it has to convert DC to AC, right? So whether it is converting or not, we will see. So here, if I close the N switch, so what is the output voltage? So here, positive of Vs is connected to the minus and the negative of the Vs is connected to the plus of the V0. So V naught equal to minus Vs. It is simple KVL. So V naught equal to minus Vs. V naught equal to minus Vs. So is it AC waveform or not? It is a AC square waveform, right? So the output voltage of the inverter will be like this. So now we are converting input DC into the output AC. So if you can control here also, by controlling the pulse width, so modulation, we can control the output voltage also. That we will discuss later. So here the final thing is, the final one is, so let me assume the final one is AC to AC conversion. AC to AC conversion. So here let us take the AC to AC conversion. So what is the meaning of AC to AC conversion? So here you need to understand that input voltage is fixed input voltage, output voltage is variable output voltage. So so input voltage is fixed input voltage. Input voltage is, let me draw the axis first. So V naught, let me draw the V naught. So let me take the high resistive lamp load. High resistive lamp load on one switch, let it be the P switch. So the output voltage will be the V naught. Let me assume that V naught polarity, initial polarity will be like this. So input voltage is AC voltage. So because it is an AC to AC conversion, so we are clear. So input voltage is AC voltage. Input voltage is AC voltage. So I need to draw the output voltage. Let me draw the output voltage. Let me draw the output voltage. So as I said before, these switches are controllable switches. These switches are controllable switches. What is the meaning of controllable switch? The turn on instance can be controlled. If I close this switch at 30 degrees here, 30 degrees here. So what happens? Up to 30 degrees I haven't closed this switch, so that the switch is in the open condition. When switch is in open condition, what happens? The output voltage is 0 because no current is flowing through the load, right? So the output voltage is 0. The output voltage is 0. So now if I close the switch, at 30 degrees, what happens? If I close the switch at 30 degrees, what happens? The output voltage is equal to the input voltage. The output voltage is equal to the input voltage. Now, so here only one switch is there. So here, now let me open the P switch here. So again I will close at 180 plus 30 degrees. So up to here, the switch is in open condition. So here, the output voltage is 0. Again, if I close the switch, what happens? Again, the output voltage is equal to the input voltage. So the output voltage waveform should follow the input voltage waveform. So that it should follow the input voltage waveform. Again, it will be like this. So what you have observed here, if I can vary 30 to 60 degrees, what happens? The output voltage is reducing. So if I make the 30 degrees to 90 degrees, what happens? The output voltage is still more reducing. So what does it mean? So even though fixed input voltage is fixed input, so the output voltage is going to be reduced. Output voltage is going to be reduced. I think now we are clear. So I think now we are clear, right? Now we are clear with all these things. So now we are clear with all these things, right? So here, so there are four types of conversions. They are AC to DC, DC to DC, and DC to AC, which is called as inversion process, and AC to AC conversions. So if you can understand these concepts, that is sufficient for GATE exam. So that is sufficient to understand the GATE syllabus. So you can study the GATE syllabus. You can understand what are all the converters are there. So what are all the converters are there, and if you observe the circuit, you can tell that which converter it is. So in introduction itself, learn it completely. So now I think till now we are clear. Right? So guys, till now we are clear. So we are clear, right? So till now we are clear. Now let us go beyond this. So let me take one step forward. So let me take one step forward. So these two converters are, so what are all these two converters? These two converters are, so this is the DC to DC conversion. If you observe this circuit, so the input is DC, right? So output is, the rectifier output should be DC, right? Output should be DC. So the rectifier output should be DC. In case of ESC syllabus, in case of ESE syllabus, so if you observe that, so there will be the power supplies. There will be power supplies. There we will use the isolated DC to DC converters. Isolated DC to DC converters. Isolated DC to DC converters. So isolated DC to DC converters. So here, so what is the meaning of isolation? So here in case of, it is also DC to DC conversion, but what is the difference you need to observe? So here if you observe, there is a transformer in between the input and output. So it isolates the two external circuits. It isolates the two external circuits to avoid the shock at the load. So basic isolation function is to avoid it provides the galvanic isolation between the two external circuits that we will study for the ESE syllabus. So similarly, resonant converter. So the resonant converter, if you observe this circuit, there is an RLC circuit. There is an RLC circuit in the load. In case of resonant converter, there is an RLC circuit is load. So this output will be, if I draw the output voltage for this, how it will be, we'll see. So if I draw the output voltage, how it will be, so we can discuss. So if I draw the output voltage, so output voltage is nothing but from here to here. Let me assume that output voltage will be here. So plus minus V0 from here to here. So if I draw the V0, how it will be? Let me close the switch for the T/2 duration. So what happens? If I close the switch for the T/2 duration, so the Vs, the positive of Vs is connected to the positive of V0, right? So V0 equal to Vs. If I close the P switch. From T/2 to T, if I close the N switch, what happens if I close the N switch? If I close the N switch, the negative of minus Vs, is connected to the positive of V0. So that V0 equal to minus Vs. So here we are getting the square waveform, but so because of L and C, so if the output is taken at VSE here across resistance, so what happens if I take the output as VSE because of LC circuit, what happens because of LC circuit? So it generates a sinusoidal wave. But what is the difference between the resonant converter and the normal AC to DC to AC inversion? So if you observe that in a resonant converter, so we can generate high frequency output voltage. So in most of the application, so like induction heating application, there we require high frequency AC output voltage. So now we have these converters. So right? So do you understand up to now? So if you understand, say yes. So is it clear or not? Let the session be most interactive guys. So is it clear or not? So I will cover the ESE syllabus too. So here that's why I'm telling that. So there is one more module I have added for ESE for power supplies as well as the resonant converters. So we have seen the 4 converters. So we have seen the advanced converter like power supply, isolated DC to DC converters as well as resonant converters. So please reply guys. Now up to now we are clear, right? Let us discuss the applications of power electronics. So without knowing the applications, how can we close the session, right? So here, so we should know the applications before studying any subject.
It's time to experience something glorious. Unacademy Combat. Compete, crack, conquer.
A challenging gate contest engineered to give you an experience like none other.
Where you put your knowledge to test
and battle it out with a test.
To bring out the best in you, Unacademy Combat is the most competitive, gamified contest for gate till date, with the best of the questions by best educators.
with detailed video solutions from top educators right after each contest.
Combat live with peers to get real-time rankings and win big.
Participate in every contest to improve your ratings.
Challenging contests every fortnight or alternate Sunday. Live ranking after every question. Big rewards for top rankers. Your passion to crack gate deserves this. Your hard work towards your dream deserves this. Fuel your inner fire for the ultimate gate challenge. Unacademy Combat. Register now.